Hey Logic One, hope you guys are doing really well. Today we're going to be doing some tricky work. And if you haven't done your facts practice or your warm up, please get that done. And then let's hop into what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be talking about similar triangles. And similar triangles have corresponding angles and corresponding sides. And similar triangles also have same measures within one triangle as in another triangle. So let's take a look of what this actually looks like when you put pen to paper. So let's take a look at triangles A, B, C, and Z, Y, X. If we look at this triangle, we can say that this angle is congruent to this angle, and we use this little tick mark to represent that the angles are equal. We then can say angle B is equivalent or equal or congruent to angle Y. And we're going to use two tick marks to demonstrate that these two guys are congruent. So we can then assume, since this is congruent to this angle, sorry about that, guys. Angle B is congruent to angle Y, that angle C is going to be congruent to angle X. Again, also, we know that all three angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So if these two angles are congruent to these two angles, then these guys have to be the same. So let's go ahead and say what that actually means. What this means is that these two triangles are called similar. Similar triangles have the same measures within each three angles. Also, they have three pairs of corresponding angles and three pairs of corresponding sides. Corresponding angles, we talked about angle A and angle Z, angle B and angle Y, angle C and angle X. Now the corresponding sides are side AB is congruent or the corresponding to angle or side ZY. We have BC is corresponding to YX, and then CA corresponds to XZ. So this is really important right here because this rule is what we're going to use for the rest of our lesson. And it's the lengths of corresponding sides of similar triangles are proportional. So there's three things you need to know here. That the lengths of corresponding sides, the length that we see in these triangles, of similar triangles, that means that all the three angles of the similar triangles are the same, are proportional, which means we can set up a proportion and solve for an unknown. So to prove this, we're going to look at triangle A and triangle B. Triangle A has sides that are corresponding. Angle or side, this guy right here corresponds to this guy. Sorry guys, my allergies are killing me. So we're going to go ahead and write a ratio and see if all three sides are equivalent. Sorry guys, I had to pause the recording because it's 9:30 here at night and my 2-year-old came running into our office, so I had to put him back in bed. But anyway, here's where we were talking about these two similar triangles. So we're going to write a ratio just to prove that these triangles are similar and that their sides are corresponding. So we're going to put 6/3, as you'll see down here, because this side over this side is proportionate. We're going to do this side, which is 8/4. Again, first triangle over littler triangle. And then finally the hypotenuse of triangle A over the hypotenuse of triangle B. And when you see these three ratios, you'll notice that each ratio equals 2. When each of the ratios are the same, you have proven that these two triangles are similar. Even if we had chosen to do triangle B as the numerator in the ratio over triangle A, we would have gotten all of the ratios equal to 1/2, which would still have been would still prove that they're similar. All right, so let's go ahead and turn the page. All right, so let's go ahead then and estimate the length of A. So we know that this length over this length is a ratio. We know this length over this length is a ratio, and we also know that this length over this length is a ratio. So let's use the two sides that we know. we know that we have this leg and this leg, or side, this side and this side. So let's go ahead and set up a ratio. We're going to put 6 over 10, which is what you see down here, is equal to 3 over A, which is what you see down here. So now we have equal ratios, and we are going to solve by cross multiplying. So 6 times A is 6A, 3 times 10 is 30. When you divide both sides by 6, you get A is equal to 5. So now what we're going to do, and let's actually go back, let's prove that, okay? So if we have 6/10, 6 over 10, and 3 over 5, are those ratios equivalent? Yes, 6/10 is equal to 3/5. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one right here. Indirect measure is a way to apply proportional reasoning to real world problems. So if you look, this question says, Sarah looked up and said, I wonder how tall that tree is. Beth looked down and said, it's about 20 feet tall, or 25 feet tall. Beth did not directly measure the height of the tree. Instead, she used her knowledge of proportions to indirectly estimate the height of the tree. And here's how it does it. Is the lengths of the shadows cast by two objects are proportional to the heights of the two objects. So here we go. We have our tree and we have Beth, right? So we can separate the objects and their shadows into two triangles. So we have the height of the tree, which is right here. And this is what H sub T means, height of tree. So height of the tree, assuming the ground is flat and both objects are perpendicular to the ground. So height of the tree, we have the shadow of the tree. And can we find how tall the tree is? So now here we go. We have height of Beth and we have shadow of Beth. So as long as we have these pieces of information, then we can solve or set up a proportion to solve for the unknown. So let's go ahead and fill in what we do know. Let's go ahead and figure out how Beth solved this calculation. So we know that we're assuming that her own height was about 5 feet. She estimated the length of her shadow was about 6 feet. So again, just like with similar triangles, you put the same side on each similar triangle as your numerator. And my baby is out of his crib again. I'm going to pause it and I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so we were talking about Beth would be 5 feet. Her shadow would be 6 feet. The height of the tree was the unknown. And she's assuming that the length of the shadow is about 3 feet or 30 feet. Again, height and shadow, height of person, shadow, height of object, shadow. So when you set up your proportion, you can cross multiply, and you get 6 times the unknown time is equal to 5 times 30. Then you end up getting that the height of the tree was about 25 feet. So let's look then when we're given an example where all the information is given to you. So to indirectly measure the height of a light pole on the playground, a class of students measured the length of the shadow cast by the pole, which was about 24 feet, and the length of the shadow cast by a vertical meter stick, which was about 40 centimeters. About how tall was the light pole? So I always draw this information out when I do it. So they've done it for you here. So we have our pole, which is the unknown, but it casts a shadow of 24 feet. Meter stick, which is 100 centimeters, and the shadow was 40 centimeters. So we can go ahead and set up some ratios here. We know that the height of the object is 100 centimeters and unknown. We know that the length of the shadow is 40 centimeters and the length of the shadow here is 24 feet. So we can go ahead and put 40 over 24, just like they did here, is equal to 100 over the height of the pole. When we have this ratio set up, this proportion, we can cross multiply, where you would have 2400 divided by 40, and you would get 60. So let's go ahead and do example 3. It said Brad saw that his shadow was the length of about one big step, which is about 3 feet. He then walked along the shadow of a nearby flagpole and found that it was 8 big steps long. Brad is about 5 feet tall. Which is the best choice for the height of the flagpole? let's go ahead and draw this out. We know, here is my board that I'm pulling over into the textbook. We know that Brad is about 5 feet tall and his shadow is 1 step, which is about 3 feet. We know that the flagpole has a shadow that is about 8 steps, which is about 8 feet, we're assuming. I found 8 big long steps. And he said that 1 long step for him was 3 feet. Well, this one is 8 long steps, which we're going to multiply by 3 to get 24 feet. All of our units now are the same. So this is 3 feet, which was 1 big step. And this was 8 steps, or 8 big steps, which was about 24 feet. So let's go ahead then and set up our proportion. So I'm going to say that the height of Brad is 5 over, I'm going to say equals, the height of the flagpole is unknown. The length of his footstep or shadow or whatever was 3, and then the flagpole's shadow was 24. So now let's go ahead and cross multiply, and we're going to get 3x is equal to 120. All right. Next, we're going to divide both sides by 3. We're going to get x is equal to 40. All right, let's scroll that out of there now. Okay, so, and that's your option right there. Okay, so what I want you guys to do now is using some kind of device to measure. I want you to go out and indirectly measure the height of a tree, building, pole, or anything like another tall object described in example 2. If we were in class together, we'd be doing this right now outside. So go ahead. Oh, I don't want to switch the page yet. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and like use your measuring tape to measure your shadow, and using your shadow, see if you can figure out the shadow of a much taller building. So do something like that. I wish I could go do it with you, but get outside, breathe some fresh air, and get a couple activities done while you're outside. So anyway, after you're done with that, come on back inside and do your lesson practice and make sure it gets checked. And then we can for sure go over this when we have our check-in tomorrow. Sorry if this was a little rambly. It's pretty late at night. But anyway, hope you're well. Okay, bye.